Good again, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. Today I'm going to show you how to solve for the area of the perimeter and area of this regular hexagon. How do you know that this is simply a hexagon? We know that this is a hexagon because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides and 6 angles and 6 vertices. Halatang-halata makikita mo na 6 na sides, vertices at angles ay tinatawag na hexagon. Now, it says here that this is a regular hexagon. And our job or bread and butter is to solve for the perimeter and the area of the hexagon. This is a regular hexagon. And when we say when a polygon is regular, anong ibig sabihin yun? Ibig sabihin, all sides and all angles of the polygon are all congruent. Like for instance, this is a regular polygon. So what do you expect about the sides? They're all the same. Like for instance, ano yung measure ng isang side? Sabi dito, one side here measures 10 decimeters, which you see right over here. And then what do you typically expect about the angles as well? The angles should always be 120 degrees. If you think that they're 120 degrees, here's the proof, di ba? Diba remember ang formula dito, n minus 2 equals the number of triangles that you can form. And then times 180, di ba? N is 6. So 6 minus 2, since it's a hexagon, that is equivalent to 4. Times 180 equals 720. Tama? Pero since there are 6 angles that are congruent, i-divide mo by 6. And 72 divided by 6, ito yun. 1, 2, tama. So tama, 120 degrees. So therefore, every angle should measure 120 degrees. Okay? Yun po yung final answer namin. Now, going back to solve for the area, the perimeter of the polygon, of the hexagon. To solve for the perimeter of the hexagon, madali lang yan. What's the formula? Diba, since the regular polygon, it's S times the number of sides that are typically congruent. So therefore, you're in luck. And since there are 6 sides that are congruent, ano yung formula namin? 6 times 10, diba? Because since the measure here of one side measures 10 decimeters, and then there are 6 sides that are congruent, so ito po yung formula ng perimeter. Ang perimeter namin ay, ito yun, 10 times 6, which is equivalent to 60 decimeters. Yun po yung perimeter. Alright? Ito po yung perimeter ng regular hexagon. Now, to solve for the area, we have a problem. We cannot solve for the area of the regular hexagon. However, take note that we can still solve for the area of the regular hexagon even though the information does not suffice. Although it's already suffice, you know why? Ito po yung nangyari. Tingnan mo to, ha? Did you know that you can solve for the area of the regular hexagon in several ways? Like for instance, I would like to do it this way. Pwede ka maghatiin yung hexagon sa dalawang trapezoid. If you were to do that, ganito yung mangyayari. So you put your ruler here, and then draw a line to this area, tapos ganito siya, di ba? Now, you form 2 trapezoids that are congruent. Very nice. But remember, if you're asked to solve for the area of the trapezoid, remember the formula? It's the summation of the 2 bases times the height, divide by 2. Kaya lang, hindi mo kailangang mag-divide ng 2 dahil you have another trapezoid that is congruent. Unless you think of divide by 2, then multiplying it again to reciprocate the answer, then you will still get the same answer pa rin. Tama? So therefore, you don't need to do that na. Now, let's get straight to the point. We have another problem. We need to get the height. Kasi pa we do not know typically what's the height. And furthermore, di ba remember ito yun, di ba? We need to get the height through here. And then we do not know what's the measure from here to here and this one, where we have drawn the line. So that's our problem. However, even though the information does not suffice, we can still solve for the area. We can still get some information. How? First, let's make sure that this is a right triangle. Kagaya ng ganito, okay? Now, if you can see, look at this. Ito yung right triangle namin. Yung naka-shaded, ito yung right triangle na dapat solve namin. And di ba remember kagasabi ko lang, this is a, what you call this, 120-degree angle. So, di ba, remember, this is a right angle. Di ba, ito yung right angle, di ba? Tapos ito naman, hinati. So, this is typically 60 degrees. So, therefore, this should be 30 degrees. Ito yun, no? I-black ball pen ko para makita mo. Yan. So, 30, 60, 90 degrees. Which just reminds me of something. Okay. So, if it reminds you of some type of special type of triangle formula theorem, you are correct. It's a 30, 60, 90 degree triangle. And di ba remember the triangular relationship, di ba? The hypotenuse, which is this one, should always be measured twice. And since this is 10 decimeters, di ba remember 10 decimeters to, di ba? 10 decimeters din to. 10 deci. Okay? Now, this were 10 decimeters. Ano yung dapat measure ng ito? Hanggang kung saan nagtatapuan o nakuha namin yung height. If your answer is 5, you are correct. At bakit? Kasi po kung natandan mo yung relationship ng 30-60 degree triangle, even if you were not able to use the Pythagorean theorem, the short leg should always be half the measure of the hypotenuse. So this one is 5 deci. 5 deci to. Tapos yung sa pagkukunin ng height, it's always the short leg, the measure of the short leg times the square root of 3. So dapat yung height na ito, it's 5 times square root of 3. Tama? 5 times the square root of 3. Now that's your height already. Teka. What about on the other side naman? Do you think that it's congruent with the other one? If your answer is yes, you are deliberately correct. So this is also 5 deci. Okay? To this part. Okay? Tapos this rectangle here, this is 10 decimeters. And this one from here to here, that's also 10 decimeters. So now we got the measure of the long base. The long base is 10, which is the measure from here to here, which is like this one as well, plus the 2 5s to give you 20. So therefore, ito yung area namin. Ang area ng trapezoid. The short base, the B1, plus B2. Then times height. Diba? Divide by 2. But since there are two trapezoids that are congruent, i-multiply namin by 2. Kaya lang, yung 2 na yan, ika-cancel na namin. So what just only leaves is this one. B1 plus B sub 2 times the height. Okay? So ano yung B1? Ang B1 ay 10. Tapos, di ba ito yun yung B1? Ito yung B1 namin. Now, what about for B2? Ang B2 namin ay 5 plus 10 plus 5. So, 20 yan. So, 10 plus 20. Sum it up. Tapos, ano yung height? Di ba remember ito yung height na nakinuha namin sa Pythagorean theorem? 5 times the square root of 3. Okay? So, 5 times square root of 3. Ito yun na ha. Now, let's solve. 10 plus 20 equals 30. 30 times 5 times square root of 3, you can distribute. 30 times 5, or you can apply the commutative property of multiplication. 30 times 5 equals 150. Then what you're stuck na lang is 150 times the square root of 3. And 150 times the square root of 3, although we cannot simplify what the square root of 3 is all about. Kaya lang, since we have a calculator in our hands, ito yung formula namin. So let's input it. Ano yung dapat sagot? Ito yun, no? 150 times square root of 3. Ayan. So you should come up with an answer that looks like this. 259.8076 blah blah blah. So that's the area. The area of one trapezoid of the regular decagon is 259.8076. Or if you were to round this off, pwede maging 260 na lang. 260 square decimeters. It depends kung gusto mong ground of yung teacher mo. Okay? So ito pa yung area. Actually, there's another way on how you can solve for the area of a trapezoid. Like, you can play the game of apothem. Alam mo yung apothem? Yung apothem yung, ano yun? Like, halimbawa, apothem is the what you call this. Let's say, for example, kung i-divide mo sa triangle, di ba? Triangle ito, di ba? Tapos this one, di ba remember, since this 120 degrees, this should be 60 degrees, tama? And then, this is an equilateral triangle. So, you still get the same formula Pythagorean theorem. Tapos, itong height na kinuha mo dito hanggang dito, yun yung apothem. So, you play the game of Pythagorean theorem. So, di ba remember ito yung 10, di ba? But divide by 2. So this is 5 na lang. So ito yung formula na kukuha mo. 5, tapos 10, ito yun. And then yung height, 5 times square root of 3. Tama? And the formula for apothem theorem is this. 1/2 times A for apothem. Ano yung apothem? Yung height, diba? 5 times the square root of 3. Then times the perimeter, the entire perimeter of the figure. Which is, ano yung perimeter na kuha namin? 60, diba? Then we simplify 2 and 60. So this becomes 30 times 5 times 3. Teka, did we get the same formula din just like yesterday? Oo nga, no? We still did get the same. So either way, both ways, we still get the same answer. So yun lang. But to tell you the truth, ito yung area ng regular hexagon. Ang area ni regular hexagon ay 259.8076 square decimeters or unless kung mag-round off tayo, 260. Yun lang.